allow, you must have seen small businesses all around. Small businesses are there, you breathe day in and day out, small businesses. Have you ever noticed why some of the small businesses grow, why some of the small businesses do not grow, or why some of the small businesses die out? If you walk around the industrial estate near your home, probably you would find that some of the industrial units are running the same way, maybe in for a few years in some instances. In some instances they have grown big, some instances they have expanded, but at the same time several of them have changed hands or stopped operations. In fact, the statistics all over the world indicates that nearly half the small businesses started fail or disappear or stop operations in the first 5 years. That means by the time they are 5 years old, only half of them survive. And if you take a 10-year period, then it is much less. It is about 10 to 20% which survive. And in India, we don't allow many of the small businesses to die. We call them sick. We keep them on oxygen. Some sickness, some revival scheme or something is there. And millions of rupees are held up in the unutilized, blocked up in unutilized assets in terms of plant, machinery and buildings and other things. But why is it so? Why is it that all small businesses cannot grow? Or at least why can't they achieve success? At least continue operation, sustain, survive, if not grow. There are various reasons. And one of the things that we will try to do today, we will try to understand or we will try to identify some of the factors which can contribute to the success of small businesses. The basic thing is that many of the small businesses do not know what businesses they are in. You can ask them, what business you are in? Know their business. They don't know what product they are manufacturing or why they are manufacturing those things or why they are selling in one particular market as against any other. Just because somebody told them or somebody said that this product is selling in that market, they also start manufacturing it. In fact, one has to identify the requirements of the customers and find out whether those features or whether the requirements can be exactly matched or to the most, as much as possible, exactly matched by us in terms of manufacturing, in terms of providing the characteristics. Not ambition. Ambition alone is not good enough. Not our hopes. That's not good enough. I know of a person who is an engineering graduate who is very much interested in manufacturing of high quality shampoo, and he has worked in a multinational organization manufacturing shampoo. He thought that he had the technology and he started his operations, and finally he could not even achieve 50% of the quality requirements fixed by the multinational. He could not market it. What he manufactured could be sold in low level markets where the people are not that quality conscious. This shows that he was not trying to match his ability to manufacture a particular quality of shampoo with the market where he wanted to operate. So this mismatch again is a problem. What essentially means is that before we start into business, or as soon as we get into business, we should make an analysis about the products we are going to manufacture or the services which we are going to offer and the characteristics of the market. And there is no point in entering a market which is anyway dying. For instance, jute products. The market for jute is coming down. And there is no point in starting a unit to manufacture jute products. We should enter industries which are growing, which have potential, which have future prospects. A second point to see is know their customer. How many people know their customers? It may be sounding like a joke. I mean, if they are selling the product, they must be knowing the customer. No, that's not the case always. It doesn't happen primarily because we don't try to understand what the customer requirements are. What is the need? of the buyer, or what are the needs of the buyers? What are the features of a product the customer values? For instance, there was some time back when the televisions were introduced in India, the color televisions early in the 80s. Some companies came with the multi-channel televisions, 28 channels, 36 channels, 72 channels and all. They could not sell anything based on that. People bought television because of the quality of the product. Primarily because those days we had only one channel, or maximum 2 channels. And there was no point in having multitude of channels. And nobody was prepared to pay money for having multitude of channels. Look at the scenario now. With the arrival of satellite television, multi-channels in Doordarshan, we need multiple channels. And televisions which do not have fewer channels are finding it difficult to sell their product. Which essentially means that the customer demand changes from time to time, market requirements change from time to time, and anybody who is manufacturing a product has to keep pace with the changes in the customer taste, keep pace with the changes in the marketplace. Added to that is the fact that not all needs are real. We have to identify the market, we have to understand the customer, we have to understand the customer requirements, and also whether there are emerging needs of the customer. The third point is that customer is the king. Realize that customer is the king at the end of the day. There is no point in saying that we are manufacturing and if you are interested you buy. Those days are gone. The next point is to offer something unique. We must be able to offer something unique to the customer. If we are not offering something unique, why should they come to us? They can go to anybody else who is manufacturing the same thing. Take for instance courier service, which is a popular thing these days. There are a large number of national and international courier services available. I would prefer to go to a courier service which would offer services even on a holiday, which would offer services around the clock. In fact, one of the courier services advertise that when the others are closed, we are open. That is unique service. You look at department stores, which is coming up in major cities now. Why are they growing? The conventional shops are there, but the department stores offer you good quality product, and you have the choice of selecting your things, and it's in a good atmosphere. So these are some of the unique features which can be offered, and we must be offering these, and this will be the ultimate selling proposition that we have. And based on these unique features, one must be able to build business, achieve success. Another point is that we must be always trying to add value to the customer. Customer should feel that he has not been cheated. More than that, he should feel that he has paid value, he has received value for money. If he is paying 10 rupees, he must feel satisfied, well, that is a bargain deal. He has got benefits for more than 10 rupees. I know of an entrepreneur, a scientist and entrepreneur, who develops different solvents, who has his own R&D unit and all. And what he does is that when he develops a new solvent, see for instance one of the solvents he has developed is for rubber plantations, applying on the stem, on the stem of the rubber tree. He has trained them, he has advised the rubber board as to how the solvent can be used, how effectively it can be used, how economically it can be used to the benefit of the user. And he constantly does technology upgradation, which is welcomed by the rubber board. And therefore, the rubber board doesn't have any hesitation in recommending the product of this entrepreneur to their members. Therefore, we must always be trying to provide extra value to the customer through some extra things, which may not cost us anything. In terms of cost, for us it doesn't cost. For the buyer, it is another benefit. If we enter a market, if we have a product which is low technology, which is in our product, we must try to consolidate as quickly as possible. That's the next point. Enter first, but consolidate immediately. These things help you to grow much faster. Therefore, it is important to, before entering the business, it is important to trying to identify at least new products, innovative products, even if technological and entry barriers are fewer. Yet another thing is that small business operators, the scale of operation is limited. We cannot compete on the basis of cost very often. Then the generic strategy available to us is differentiation. We move into different niches. If we can identify a niche which is growing, it is worth entering. We take the case of 1 hour photo studios. When they entered the market, not many people thought that people would go to this 1 hour photo studios, because the conventional studios were there. But for a market segment like weddings, receptions, picnics, where people want to see the photographs immediately, there these 1 hour photo studios make a claim. Similarly, fast food restaurants. People do not have a lot of time to go and have a relaxed lunch, especially working people. They would like to have a bite, so they would like to walk to a corner and buy something quick and eat something quick and go back to the work. And which essentially means that we are identifying some niches which are growing, and then entering that and consolidating. Well, another important point to achieve success is the need to build capabilities. If possible, core competencies have to be built up. Also capabilities. Core competencies are technology-based skills, where we have acquired skills over a period of time, either by working or through experience. There is an entrepreneur in Pune who runs a general engineering workshop. His success is that over a period of time, he has built up special technological skills in deep drawing. And there is nobody to compete with him in terms of deep drawing. And his range is phenomenal. And he charges premium for people who want deep drawing technology application. The market is not very large, but individual applications are there. And therefore he is happy, he is making substantial profit out of it. There are core capabilities. Core capabilities are managerial capabilities, which are managerial strengths, either in terms of relationship, either or in terms of flexibility, or any other way. In terms of running the business, if you find that the organization has some specific strengths, which are having managerial applications. See, for instance, relationships. We have a boy who sells, who brings bread and eggs on a cycle every day. Nobody buys eggs and bread from anybody else. This is primarily because of the relationship we have established with him. And he knows that we would buy only from him. And we have, we have shown that he has demonstrated that his quality is good, he is reliable, he is regular, and we have a smooth relationship. So, each small business owner can identify some way of building capabilities, whatever the level of competition. Whoever is coming, whether it is multinational or national brands, whether they are coming to the local areas or not, whether they are coming from urban areas, whether they have a national brand or not, through capabilities and through technological competences, we can build up strengths. And we can compete. The market may be small. We must be clear about the market where we want to operate. Yes. Yet another factor which we have to consider to have success in small business is to analyze the value chain. What I mean by value chain is the series of operations we perform in order to accomplish any activity. For instance, purchase. If you take purchase, it involves several steps. indenting the item, the raw material, for instance. Raw material has to be shipped or to be transported by the supplier. It has to be brought by truck or so, and then it has to move into the inventory, then it has to come to the production floor. It involves time, it involves cost. If we can find out, if we closely examine the operations involved, probably we may find that there are possibilities of reducing cost. There are possibilities of ensuring that better quality is maintained. There are possibilities of ensuring that time required is unnecessary. There can be reduction in time, which essentially means that we try to reduce the cost involved, we try to improve the factor efficiency. Another point which we have to consider is that there is something called ABC of management. I'm not talking specifically about the ABC principles used in inventory management. Well, we have been using ABC principle in inventory management. A category of items are high value, maybe constituting about 70-80% in terms of value, but in terms of volume they would be occupying about 20% or so. And C category, which is high volume but low value items. Have you ever thought of applying the same principles to the rest of the organization? Why not debtors or creditors or even people? If you take debtors, for instance, we have, say for instance, if we have a large number of buyers, we can categorize them based on a series of yardsticks. See, for instance, in terms of regularity of buying, regularity of paying, quantity of purchase, growth potential of the buyer, then location advantages, transportation costs involved, and several things. Maybe about 4 or 5 special features, important features if you identify. And if we try to rate each of our customers on the basis of that, we would realize that about 60, 70 or 80% of our orders are consumed by about 20% of the buyers. Why not we focus on them? Why not we try to grow them? Why not we try to help them? Why not we try to add value to them? Similarly about suppliers. Some of the items, some of the suppliers, we can categorize them. Who give us more credit? Who are not very stingy about the terms? Who give us regular suppliers? Who give us good quality product according to our terms? Then try to feed them, try to help them. Similarly, employees. Not all employees are of the same quality. We know that we have some key people. We should try to nurture them. We should try to grow them. We should try to make them the key part of the organization. So essentially that means that the ABC principle of management can be applied to the rest of the organization. This is not being done consciously by most small business people. Related to people is the question of delegation. How many of the small business managers or small business owners have the mind to delegate things effectively? They think that since the business is theirs, their baby, they find it difficult to delegate. They think that everything they should be doing. This is dangerous. As the business grows, there is a stage beyond which the time of the manager, time of the owner can be spent on trivial things. Routine things will have to be delegated. Routine things will have to be given to subordinates. And that means that the owner will have time to concentrate, will have time to think strategically, will have time to plan for the future of the organization. Another thing is quality consciousness. We hear about the quality movement, total quality management and things like that. One thing we have to realize, that there is nothing like an absolute quality. Quality is relative to the market requirements. If the market needs a high quality product, well, we have to give that quality. But there is no point in giving an item which is not demanded for by the customer. If the customer wants a table to keep his tools, it doesn't have to be polished, it doesn't have to be mosaicked, it doesn't have to be put with laminates and other things. Why unnecessarily over-engineer it? And therefore, the quality has to be specific to the market requirements and according to the buying capacity of the customer. One of the basic things which will enable success in a long-term basis is the ability to think strategically. Ability to think strategically means that we are worrying about the future of the organization, not just about 6 months or 1 year. What the business should be, what sort of a business we want it to be in the next 5 years to come, where it should be, what sort of turnover we want, what sort of markets we want, what sort of products we must be operating, and then work towards that. Even if we don't make written plans are not important, but thinking is important. Always we should have this spark in mind that we are thinking strategically. This outward looking, opportunity grabbing thinking is important. A final principle which we should always remember is that we should all learn the rules of the game. We should all learn how management theory teaches us to do. But we should also break them. To sum up our discussion, we have seen that small businesses are an important, significant component of the economy. They contribute substantially to the economy, but they also wither away. They don't have the strength. But why? Very often it is because they don't have appropriate market management exposure. They don't have exposure to the principles they can apply in managing their business. They don't understand the customers. They don't define properly who the customer is, what business they are in. They don't try to distinguish themselves by offering uniqueness, adding new values, or introducing innovative things. They don't try to develop capabilities in the organization. Only if we have this desire to identify the customer, identify the capabilities which are required and which we can have in order to be successful, that we can achieve success.